What's up, everyone? Happy Wheel Wednesday, back again, live Q&A, questions and answers. So if as you guys come in, feel free to ask any questions you might have. We're here for about half an hour time, 20 minutes or whatever, for you guys to ask whatever questions you may need, and hopefully we can give you an answer. Besides that, what do we got? We got a podcast going up in about an hour's time on our YouTube channel, Spotify, all those streaming platforms. Scott and myself are talking about a question that we were thinking of. With wheels getting to a kind of more options out there for factory options for wheels, is it going to hurt the aftermarket industry? And are there other examples of that besides outside of wheels and tires or whatever? But that's what we're talking about on the podcast today. I think it's a pretty interesting topic. There's a lot of good examples that we're able to throw out and talk about. But as a concern, as an aftermarket wheel company, it's a concern for us. But in the end, I think there's a strong chance that everyone kind of has their place. And I don't think it's that big of a it's not going to be detrimental for businesses like us or whatever it may be. But besides that, we're talking about that on the podcast today.
Some nice wheels out there.
Yeah, there are a lot of new awesome options from the factory and stuff. But I mean, there's always going to be that aftermarket taste of what people want.
Do
customization.
That again?
Yeah,
little
little Italian New York, yeah. And Friday we have a piece of content coming down our YouTube channel. What's the piece of content, Max?
Derek Madison Toolbox Tour.
Hey, we got a Toolbox Tour with our boy D. Madison, Formula Drift Pro Spec driver Derek Madison, showing us what kind of tools he brings to the track for drifting events. So that's really cool. Any questions, feel free to ask them now, and I will do my best to answer them all. Might get a surprise guest appearance from Scott today. We'll see.
Got Juice Riva saying hi.
Hey, what's up, man? How are you?
Also, MD Trick saying hi. We got Gooba Car saying my dream wheels.
Oh yeah, which ones are those?
The ones that behind you look pretty good. What are those wheels, by the way?
But where?
The top.
Here?
Yeah.
Heliograms. So it would be Heliograms and matte bronze. But yeah.
Blood OV Thunder. Is there going to be any off-road wheels for trucks?
Yes, there will be. So KONIG, we have a off-wheel line called Mamba Wheels, which you can go and check that out now, mambawheels.com. We are actually also going to be introducing a truck wheel under the KONIG brand. So later on this year at SEMA, more than likely, we'll have a debut of this new truck wheel that we'll be offering. So we're really excited about that. It's kind of like a tuner-inspired truck wheel for off-road and overland and stuff like that, and sizing hasn't been set in stone yet, but it's going to be for a lot of the more popular applications like Tacomas and F-150s or whatever.
Got Junior Fast in here saying, I saw your Fuel Fest post. Are you guys going this year?
We are, yeah. So
did we say that?
Yeah. I hope hopefully the post was clear enough. But yeah, we're going to Fuel Fest Mid-Atlantic for next weekend. We will be there on Saturday, September 9th. We're gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. Max is gonna be there. Some other people are gonna be there.
If you've ever been to Fuel Fest, tell us in the comments because we'd love to know. It's our first time going.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is the first time they're having it in New Jersey, but they had it in California, they had it in Japan, and some other places. They have it in Africa. But yeah, so we're excited to go to Fuel Fest. It's the first time they're doing it on the East Coast of the United States. So super excited to be a part of it.
I wonder what kind of cars the tuner scene they got in Africa.
Yeah, I don't know.
Juice Rivas, do you have 17 by 8 or 17 by 8.5 or 17 by 9 for S2000 Motorsport?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Just let us know what you need. Shoot me an email, whatever it may be. How's the Super doing, man? Pretty good. It looks awesome.
CLT Brian saying, as long as the OEM keeps making ugly ass wheels, the aftermarket will always shine bright.
Yeah, so that was a point. So now, is there a level of function that comes from the OEs that make it less appealing to get aftermarket wheels, or is it always going to just be based on style and preference? So those are just some things that always make us wonder.
All right, I think it looks like we got a little visitor, so I'll switch places here.
You want to hop in?
Actually, perfect timing.
Little visitor.
What are my options for a 350Z, please? 2007.
Oh, what's happening, everybody? How are you? See if we can. Where do I stick this? There we go.
Collar?
I don't have a collar. It's a t-shirt.
I mean, it has a collar.
Here, let's see if this looks ridiculous enough. What do you think? Yeah?
It looks great.
All right. 350Z. It depends on what kind of fitment you're looking to go for. I have a 350Z. On my Z, I run 9.5s in the front and 10.5s in the rear. So if you do 9.5 in the front, 25 is kind of your limit. And if you do 10.5 in the rear, again, 25 is kind of, all the wheel. There are people that will argue you can go more. I believe you can if you're willing to make some sort of accommodations, but that's, kind of a good rule of thumb. And as far as the wheels, most of the full form wheels will have those options available for you. Watch some of the ones that have 10.5 at an 18. You can do it. It's aggressive. I would stay on the rear 10.5 at a 25, 20, 22, somewhere in there, and you'll be good.
Thoughts on two-tone machine black OE wheels? Example, most stock Honda wheels.
Yeah. It depends. I think it just depends on the look of it. Listen, the one thing about OE wheels is some of them can come off very commodity looking, right? They just look very generic and something that you would expect to see on a lot of different types of cars. And then there's some other ones that actually look very good and match up. And I think it really just has a lot to do with the wheel style and kind of how you're accessorizing your car. As far as its durability, if there's not a lot of machining, then I think it's going to last a little bit longer. The machined wheels tend, if there's machined elements to a wheel, it tends to have a little bit shorter of a shelf life or a little bit more dependent on keeping them clean and stuff like that.
All right. If you guys have any questions, send them in the comments so we can answer them.
Yeah, let's throw them in.
Yeah, and then we'll be able to answer them here. Besides that, let's take a look. What else we got going on, Scott?
I don't know. Let's see. We talked about the podcast already?
Yeah.
Yeah. Podcast, and I think, what are we doing this Friday? Do you know?
This Friday we have a toolbox tour with Derek Madison.
Okay, toolbox tour with Derek Madison it is. So, listen, I've always thought the toolbox tours are pretty cool. Because I like to work on cars, tools are naturally close to my heart. And I think that it's interesting for me to see the toolboxes that some of these, race teams and drift teams have, because they have to be able to take apart and put together an entire car with just a simple toolbox that wheels out of the trailer. So it's very different than being, home in your own garage or being into the shop where they're working out of and then trying to be able to do whatever functions. They have to have everything on the go. And a lot of times they have to be able to put together a whole suspension corner or try to solve a pretty catastrophic situation in under 5 minutes. And that's because the 5-minute clock,
So I'm going to reiterate a question once, so maybe you can expand on it a little better. Is there going to be any off-road wheels for trucks?
Yes. So we already have an off-road line. It's mambawheels.com. So MAMBA wheels.com. You can get there through KONIG. All you have to do is go to wheels, drop down to truck, SUV, Jeep kind of thing. Click on that. It will take you over there. In addition to that, we have some cool things that are going to come out for KONIG. And we should be dropping them at SEMA. So make sure you guys stay tuned to that. At SEMA, we're going to do some live streaming and stuff like that. So you'll have some head start. We usually like to give our friends here kind of a head look on the Monday before the show opens. So basically, the SEMA show starts on Tuesday morning, usually Monday evening sometime. It's usually later for East Coast because we're on the West Coast for SEMA. But we do try to go live and kind of show you kind of what's new with an uninterrupted first look.
On YouTube, this guy's name is Sin and CYN, and he goes, I've seen the name before. I can't remember who it is. I know you know who he is, but I can't remember based on CYN. But he goes, Scott, what's your favorite second flow form wheel? Second favorite flow form wheel.
Okay. I guess you're getting tired of watching me talk about my first favorite?
Yeah.
My second favorite. I really like the Ultragram. It kind of borders to be one of my more favorite wheel combinations. There is a picture on our Instagram that is of the GR86.
Yeah.
Yeah. The GR86, or is it a BRZ? GR86.
It's a GR86.
That has a set of staggered Ultragrams, and it's killer. Like, sick killer. Made me want to buy the car that I like the wheel fitment so much.
Yeah. It's really good.
Yeah.
So this guy Toucan goes, what's up? Your forged wheels, when are they coming out?
Yeah. So we've talked about this just so much. And that's the problem, that we've just talked about it. I said this last week or the week before that in the live. I take full responsibility. It is me. I tried to bring out something that I really wanted. Like, I really had this huge vision for, we're going to release a Forge line. It's going to be really great. It's going to have all the cool things. If you spent your money on it, your hard-earned money, you'd be super excited to get it. And when you opened up the box, the whole experience would be good all the way through to putting them on your car. That is still in the process. That's still the plan. There have been changes. Now, look, if we were already bringing Forge product in the US the entire time, you might have only known that there was a change in certain materials as far as like packaging and stuff like that. You might have seen us change pricing a little bit here and there, but it wouldn't have been a big deal. We've never brought our Forge product into the United States. Surprisingly enough, we've been making Forge product for quite a while, but we sell it in different parts of the world. We just haven't had that point where we felt we were ready to bring it here, and now we do. So the issue is that we want to make sure everything is right. And that first launch is a little bit more cumbersome because we have to obviously get all the stuff that we're having as our stock finishes and stock stuff. We have to get it here, load it. And anytime we make a little adjustment, that kind of gets delayed. It's my fault. I'll take the blame for it. Now let's answer your question. I have done my best to make sure this time that we are able to sell this product by the end of the year. Now, will it be a SEMA? Yes. Was that SEMA last year? Yes. We even have new designs we're working on, which is kind of odd because I've never worked on new designs without really releasing the current stuff. So that's a whole other story. End of the year, we will be ready to be able to have dealers take orders.
Nice. CLT Brian, I don't know what you mean by this, but he goes, will gray hypergram still be available after September 1st?
Yeah, why?
I don't know.
Why there's a reason you're asking about September 1st, and I would like to know what that is.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Brian, tell us what you mean by September 1st. Where'd you get that date? There's got to be something that you're referring to that you saw that says September 1st.
Yeah, weird. Kyle Cross in here, he says,
man.
he goes, I'll be at SEMA this year.
Oh, man. Well, come
Hi, Kyle.
Come hang out. Kyle, actually, you know what? Hit me up on the, the thing, sometime this week or whatever about that. I want to rack your brain on something.
Cool. Any other questions, guys? Feel free. And for the people, SEMA's only in Las Vegas. Where can I get a center cap in from UK? The sticker part has come off.
Okay. If you're looking just for a logo, any KONIG dealer can help you. Now, if you have any trouble, you can also contact Wyborg Engineering or racingwheels.eu. They can help you source some of those parts. We'll figure it out.
Yes. Oh, this is...
What we got, right?
We got some spam.
Spam? What kind of spam?
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to read it.
Oh, is it really bad?
Eh.
What kind of stuff? Is it like spam as in they're making fun of me, or is it like
No,
spam?
it's just spam, like nonsense spam.
My favorite of the spams were like, I just went with Angela and she helped me get my investment strategy under control.
This one says, are you a homosexual vampire?
That's a good question.
But it's not
I've never, it's kind of like self-reflection. I've never really thought about it. Am I a homosexual vampire?
Kyle Cross says he's going to send you that email.
All right, cool.
There's not too much else going on here.
Cool.
Oh, this guy's Nikolai Senov. Who is this? He said, what's up?
Right. What's up?
He has a check mark next to his name.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, but you can pay for that now, right?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, Brian goes, I was trying to order another set of hypergrams in 17.835. Was told the gray wouldn't be available until after 9/1.
I understand. That just means that they're probably on back order right now, and we probably have the next shipment coming in, probably right in that first week of September. That's all that means.
Someone said good sense of humor.
I guess. I mean, what are you supposed to do with that? How is that even offensive? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's actually pretty interesting. Like, I never really even gave it a thought. So anyhow, with all that said, if you have any other questions that we can answer for you, throw them in. If not, we'll get back to work. Building those wheel things that you guys like to see sometimes.
For the people who are coming in now,
Yep.
because there's still people coming in. What's with the podcast at 3?
So podcast at 3:00. Rich and I we're going to be rapping about some of these OE wheels, they're getting pretty intricate, using different constructions. You may not even know, what they're trying to do to be able to either get weight down or be able to extend battery range. So the question is, like, are some of these, OE wheels getting so good that they're going to potentially put some of your favorite wheel brands out of business? That's the conversation we're talking about. Come chat, come throw your comments in. We go through a lot of different things, and I think that there's also a healthy bit of information in there about kind of how the process works of how some of these companies source their wheels for their OE, for the OE cars and stuff like that.
This person says Koenig flat out should come back.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. I mean, look, here's the thing.
That's a model?
It was.
Flat
yeah.
out?
I mean, yeah. So the deal is that, we do our best to keep it moving. I think we, like any given company, if you go back and look at, let's say, your high school yearbook, you might be like, And so what happens is we keep it moving, right? Like our job is to not only, kind of keep up with what's going on, but also to try new things. And we do. And for that reason, I tend not to like to go backward too much at all.
This person says, just got my dial-ins. Probably one of the biggest slept-on selections from Koenig. Been buying Koenig since 2004.
Appreciate you. Man, that means a lot. Man, we love to hear those kind of stories. And it's, we're actually pretty blessed to have a lot of people that send that stuff in and message us. And it's really great to hear. And we appreciate you rolling with us.
Mm-hmm. Kyle says, when is Scott coming back to California to smack things around in the warehouse?
I was out there. When was I out there? Just out there. I was out there in the beginning of August.
Mm-hmm.
So I was out there probably just a few weeks ago. And I'm probably going to be going back before the end of September, sometime. Because I want to get some stuff, set up, and I also want to do some double checking on the stuff that's going to SEMA before we get there. And that's going to come up on us super quick.
Jesse GSX says, yo, recently put heliograms on my car. Love the look. What size do I need to put on to get a deep concave? I have 18 9.5s, and the concave was less than expected.
So all right. So here's how it works. We do our best to make sure that we put that information on our website. And Jesse, I understand what you mean. And yes, it's frustrating. I can understand what you even meant by doing. He said he had heliograms.
Heliograms.
So now the heliograms. So what we do. Let me finish my thought before I jump on, because I almost killed you there. First thing is, on our website, if it doesn't distinguish a letter, it means it's an A profile. Generally, what we do is if it's a B profile, we'll say B next to the size. In addition to that, we do our best to to indicate an A or a B in certain sizes that you may think, or there's both. For example, like in an ultragram, we make an 18 9.5 that's in a B, and we also make it in an A. So we do designate an A there as well as a B in different parts to show you. But if you don't see a letter, it's generally an A. Mm-hmm. So that's what happened there. Now on the heliogram, 18 9.5 for the most part is still going to be an A. And the reason for that is a lot of the wheels that are using an 18 9.5, they're still being used on the front of cars with big brake kits. 370Zs, 350Zs with Brembos, and different things like that. Understand your point. That stinks. Shout out to DSMs. I was a big, unless you're a GSXR and you're a bike guy, but like if you're a GSX person, like, an ultragram, we do make an 18 9.5, 5 4.5 at 40 in a B profile. A little aggressive for your car, but you're already doing it, so that would be a B profile. So again, I'm sorry that you kind of are disappointed. I hope that makes sense though, and I don't know, that's what I got.
What width and offset is recommended for a 2023 Civic Si, looking at ultragrams currently?
Yeah, I mean, as far as width and offset, you have some range there. If you're looking for something bolt-on, a little bit more aggressive, you can do like an 8.5 at like in the 43-ish range. If you're looking for something a little bit less aggressive, do like an 8.5. in the 43-ish range. Didn't I just say? Did I just say that? I just said that.
It's
Sorry.
it's a 23 SI though. I'm pretty sure that got for the Ultragram we have the. Yeah,
I was so if you're looking for something a little bit more
Conservative,
is what I
yeah.
meant. Do an 8.5 around a 43. I think that's a good fit. If you have the girth and willing to want to go there, you could do like an 8. The Ultragram 18 9.5 40 offset is a B profile. It is sick. Like Jim has it on his Civic size Sport, right? It looks great. We put pictures of that on the Instagram, so check that on the Instagram. That's pretty dope. But again, it's aggressive. Don't over tire the car, but it does work. So there's that. If you're looking for something a little bit more aggressive in between, you could potentially. No, that's kind of where you gotta live, right in that area.
This person says, "Hi Scott, greetings from Panama."
All right, man. Can you imagine? One person knows me in Panama. I'm so pumped.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for rolling with us, and we appreciate you supporting us down there.
Brian says he might need some off-road wheels for his tow rig.
What kind of tow rig do you have?
Yeah, those are the big questions.
Yeah.
The person who said they've been rocking with us since 2004 with the dial-ins, they said, I've also owned high-quality JDM wheels and will say the cost, construction, design honestly puts shine many $1,500 plus sets of wheels. Not trying to nut ride Konig, but $1 is $1.
No, I appreciate that. I mean, that's kind of where our stance has always been. I mean, the truth of the matter is, like, even this Forge program, like part of the reason it got delayed is because materials are changing and some of the costs are too. And we were trying to bring something in that was at a really great price level. And when it got to a point where I felt like it was just too inflated, I wheeled it back. I mean,
that guy basically just said, I've had wheels. That's what he said. He was basically just saying.
Had wheels.
Yeah, he was like, you know what? I've had lots of wheels.
What he's basically like is I put one in the bathtub, one in the dishwasher, right? And we filmed it and put it all on. We're just trying to get us to do a series of things where we put wheels in different places and take pictures of
People have seen the trend. I know people in here have seen the trend where it's like...
Rich comes into me one day and he says, hey, you know that trend where like people put like a wheel in the dishwasher and then a wheel in the bathtub?
Yep.
I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? So anyhow. Right,
I was trying to make something come to fruition there, but...
Never know.
I didn't get the okay. So...
No, that's not true. I said, go ahead.
You said no!
What? I did not. What do you mean?
I wanted to throw a wheel off the roof.
That's not the same thing, Rich.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to do that,
You
but...
can't just throw... No. That I said no to. He's right. I said no to throwing a wheel off the roof. Because we have a parking lot. Okay? It's not the wheel, it's the parking lot.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I can't just do that. Jesse GSX says, thank you. It's a track car, so I can be aggressive. Thanks for the information. Shout out to DSMs.
Yeah, for real. And the only good thing I'll say with the 18.5 at the A profile that you have is that it really leaves you open. You probably have a tremendous amount of caliper clearance. And that leaves you open to really be able to put some pretty, raunchy looking brakes on there if you choose to do so. I know like for me, I at one point I had like a Evo swap, I put the Evo Brembos on my GSX, but then I had taken them off and went back to the 2G dual pistons just because I was doing a lot of drag racing at the time and I didn't need the extra weight.
Brian says his tow rig, it's a 2019 F-150.
Yeah, I mean we have some stuff right now in the Mamba line, so I would say check there.
This guy Hendrix, he goes, "What's a good tire setup for my upcoming drift build? I'd like to rep Konig. Thank you. Let us know what car."
Yeah, I mean, look,
Tire setup?
There's a lot of factors there that you didn't really give us enough info to be able to weigh in on. Things like, are there restrictions in what series you're going to run? What size width are you going to run? What kind of car you have? There's a lot of different things there. I would say tires are one of those things that it gets really tricky, especially once you start drifting. And if you're just starting to drift, you're going to find out that some people don't run, they'll have separate wheels that they use just to drift on because they'll use up tires that aren't necessarily the right size for the car, but they're more affordable. So for example, they may run, let's say a 245 35 18, and the car may call for 245 40 18. You see what I mean? they may run something that's a little shorter than they run on the street because they can get them more cost affordably to burn them up. So you got to do some homework there, especially if you're going to be actually using your car in a pretty more strict drift situation.
There you go. You got it.
Yeah.
This person says larger wheels equals easier to clean the barrel.
I mean, I guess in theory. Listen, I'll be honest.
Larger wheels equals bigger barrel.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know?
I mean, yeah. I mean, so, but here's what I would say. I would say, like, I mean, I've done this 1,000 times. The only real good way when you're going to clean your wheels up is just put jack stands. You know, put a jack stand under it. Take the wheel off and just clean the wheel off the car. Every time you think you're going to try to get in there and use some sort of tool to go under the brake caliper, under the brake rotor, or in between, it never works. It doesn't matter. I mean, unless you have like a 26-inch wheel or a 24-inch wheel. Just take the wheel off the car. So much easier. Ceramic coat your wheels.
Yeah, there you go.
And again, we made ceramic coating kits stored at konigwheels.com. Everything you need to ceramic coat your wheels, they're in there. Like, it's got the microfibers, it's got panel wipe, it's got enough to do usually 2 sets of wheels as far as ceramic coating. That stuff, get your wheels super clean, prep them, use the panel wipe, get everything cleaned off, get the grease off. Apply the ceramic coat to the wheels. I try to do it every time I get a new set of wheels right out of the box. And it's amazing how fast it is to clean my wheels. I just spray them down and give them a little wipe.
We'll do a few more questions. Get your questions in. There's a few more out here, Scott.
Yep.
So which options do you have for our Mark 7 GTI?
We have almost everything. Anything that you'll see, we have almost anything. I mean, really, almost anything we make is available for the GTI. And we sell a fair amount of them, a lot of flow form stuff. So really, the world is your oyster with us.
Nice.
Bumper sticker.
This person goes hypergrams in white.
Yeah, it's been asked a few times. I wonder if you're the one that's been asking a few times.
I don't know.
But yeah, it's a thought.
It's a thought. Yeah. This person says flow formed, ampliform for the win.
Yeah, it's a good. It's a good wheel and on a lot of Mark 7s too.
Brian goes, "You guys clean your barrels?" No, I don't.
But do I do it often? No. I would say, but there's plenty of times. There's a lot of times that what I'll do is if I'm really going ham on the car or if they're really necessary, I'll pull the wheel off the car and I'll use some of the G-Technic iron and fallout remover. Let that sit for a few minutes, clean that off, and then recoat the wheels if they weren't coated.
What would be the ideal setup for an FK8 Type R on track?
It's a little personal opinion. My opinion is 18.5, 35 offset. I think that gives you the most amount of kind of push out and also gives you the ability to run a really good aggressive tire.
What wheel would you suggest?
I think if you're looking for something in the B profile, I think you can get something aggressive like the Ampliform. That works really well. Aside from that, most of the regular A profiles, like, you can run hypergrams. You can run pretty much everything that we make 18.5, 35 offset.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, get your last questions in, last call. Podcast in 30 minutes time. What we got going on?
Oh, yeah.
What we got going on the podcast?
Podcast is today is we're talking about OE wheels and some of the things that OE wheels have done and some of the manufacturers are doing to make these wheels super cool. And the question is, if OE wheels keep getting really cool, is there going to be a place for some of your favorite aftermarket wheel brands? Who knows, right? So check it out, comment in, and we drop some knowledge in there about how the whole OE wheel thing comes together. A lot of people think that the car manufacturers themselves make those wheels, and that's really not the case. So check it out.
All right, I think we're all set. We got Toolbox Tour on Friday with Derek Madison.
Yep. So make sure you stay tuned to that. We drop a piece of content every Friday on our YouTube channel. Make sure you get subscribed. That is the place where we try to drop the knowledge and maybe some cool things along the way. So make sure you're subscribed. Tell your friends. We appreciate it. It's nice to see you there. We will catch you next week. Peace out.